Hello and welcome to the Occasional Moves podcast. My name's Mike Williams. These guys are Jake Lukowski and Liam McKelvey.
Hi.
Hey. Occasional Moves sounds good.
Occasional Moves, yeah. We're going for a rebrand. It's happening.
Yeah.
Occasional Moves. Yeah. We've not been around. I think last week.
It was last week. Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife and children have got COVID though, so I'm going to just whip that straight out there.
What are you going to say?
What are you going to do? You're going to complain about that?
That's true.
I'm okay. That actually is true. That is true. Yeah, both my wife and kids, selfish little bastards, have got COVID. So now I'm consigned to this room, which is quite good because I've been trying to get my hours up in Final Fantasy 14. So.
And can I say, Jake, that the room looks much better? It looks really good.
Well, you remember we had this kind of like sorry for the audio listeners, but I'll try and describe it. We had like this kind of Remembrance Day poppy / like blood splatter Rorschach test kind of wallpaper.
Very nice, very classy. It was good.
Very quaint. So yeah, shouts out. We have to be respectful because the people who decided on that were clearly of an age and they might not longer be with us. Like, so the point is, I learned how to Steam wallpaper last week,
You've never done that before.
I've never steamed wallpaper, and I've got to tell you, it's addictive. It's addictive, you know. So
it's also horrible though, isn't it? It is because it does make a mess, and everything's a bit wet, and it's sort of like
Well, yeah. I watched a lot of videos of a lot of men from Sheffield kind of talking me through it beforehand, and when I got into it, it was good. It was a bit like grooming, but for the walls.
Yeah, I love watching them kind of videos. I love watching videos where it's like, "I'm my name's Steve, and I'm going to show you how to bleed a radiator."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and he's doing it because someone's told him it'll get him more business. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. And it hasn't.
He's put his phone on a tripod,
and there's loads of comments from people like Jeremy and Palash saying thanks, lowercase thanks. But you know, people like that are what the world needs. Like, if I need to like.
Also, though, you do get people saying, "Steve, you're a dickhead." This isn't how you
do. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What school did you go to, Steve? Yeah. University of the Streets. So support for the Special Moves podcast this month, the entire month, has been brought to you by Manscaped. This is the last ad read for the foreseeable. Don't know how many of these Manscaped groom package we've shifted, but we've all come to the inner piece of, even if we didn't shift any, we all actually use it. You can see my face isn't as disheveled as it has been the last few weeks, and it's because I decided to use my bollock trimmer on my face, and I've got to tell you, it was to great effect. It was really, really good. So yeah, Manscaped, of course, men's below the waist grooming champions of the world. Like I said last week, precision engineered tools for your family jewels, but also above the waist. This is the thing. So yeah, they've got like 4 generations of trimmers. I don't really know what the differences are, but this one's got a torch in it. It's very powerful, wireless. I'm going to tell you a quick story this time, not really related to the grooming capabilities, but a time where Manscaped saved my life. I was in a rush to leave on a business trip last week, and I brought I didn't bring a charger, because I thought, I've got a USB-C cable, and most hotels these days have USB-C capabilities. But then I sadly remembered that I brought micro USB instead. Luckily for me, in my Manscaped tool shed box, the wireless charger had the USB-C. So I was in London and I could charge my phone using the bollock trimmer wire, which was a nice braided fabricy cable, not plastic. Nice. It felt good. It had a good length to it. And then because of that, I could watch me boxing. I could watch me Tim and Eric before bed. And I had a really nice time. And that's why today, for the last time, I'm wearing the lovely T-shirt that they sent for show. By the way, another T-shirt, breathable.
I haven't tried the T-shirt yet. I've worn the boxers. The boxers have been through the wash like 3 times.
Oh yeah, I'm a very big fan of the boxers. I work on my feet all day. That comfort, it's fantastic.
Let me. This is, we've got to really paraphrase this. This is akin to Under Armour gym T-shirt. You know, it's very, very breathable, very nice. Yeah, I've got to tell you. So, Manscaped, we've had some good memories together. We've had a good couple of ad reads. If you're interested in helping spesh heads around the world continue to keep their bollocks, groomed and trimmed and get nice gifts, then, you can help us by buying a Manscaped kit if you want. You get 20% off and free shipping with code SPECH. That's manscaped.com/code SPECH. Yeah, and it'll arrive in time for Christmas if you get it now.
There you go.
So there you go.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's almost Christmas. It's a good time to buy it. I'm genuinely using the shaver every single day. It's really good.
And can you imagine Mike lying about using a product for an ad read? Just look at the man's integrity. Look at his record. Would I do it? Probably. Would he do it? No, he wouldn't. So just really think about that.
Yeah,
all right.
Thank you.
Anyway,
I think that's the nicest thing you've ever said about me. Right. So let's talk about some games then. It's been a couple of weeks now. I'm working a lot, but as usual. But I'm getting into this. I've got into a nice groove, and I've played quite a bit of stuff over the last sort of week or so.
Yeah.
So I played a bit of Jurassic World Evolution 2, which I was really sort of looking forward to. I don't know why. I just was something therapeutic about those park building games.
Yeah.
Which is really, really laid back, and so I was looking forward to that. And I've been playing a game called the Riftbreaker. I got no idea why I started playing it or where I saw it or whatever, but I'm really excited about it. Like, I've been playing it a lot. And it's on Game Pass and stuff, so we'll talk about that in a little bit.
And you know, Riftbreaker sounds like a level in Orcs Must Die, so I've just Googled it, and you know what? Loads of people are saying StarCraft plus Orcs Must Die. There's a little teaser there for people that want to...
Very nice.
It's a hell of a game. We got a ton of emails, actually, and maybe it's something to do with the fact that it's been a couple of weeks, but we've got lots of emails to get through, so we'll try and get through a handful of them. There's a couple of things coming out this week, or that are out already this week, that we'll mention in the new games.
Cool.
But should we talk about something that we have all played a little bit?
Yeah, this has been a fragmented effort because of us being here, there, and everywhere, and I wish that we'd played it together, but I'm glad...
We still will. I'm sure we will play it together.
Well,
soon,
and that game is...
Liam?
Battlefield
2042. One of the most downvoted games in Steam history, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
At the minute.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's in the top 10. Mm-hmm.
For, I would say, good reason. But, it's been a bit of a mixed bag so far.
I'm glad to see that you played it.
Nothing. I hate it. Right, I'm just.
Wow. Right? Okay.
I'm not into it. Right.
Okay.
But Jake, what were you going to say?
Well, I didn't even know that you guys had played it, to be honest. So I'm glad that you did, because I've been stealing hours here, there, and everywhere. Because the girls are ill, they're going to sleep early, and I'm finding myself. So I was like, I got on Battlefield, and I'm in my groove of it now. I was having a very, very bad time with it, in the sense that I normally play Medic, which is a class that just seems loveless in this one. There's really very little pushing people through to play squad tactics. Every single game I join, I join a squad. The squad already exists. I just basically spam looking for a request until I become the captain and then kick them out. That's how much venom is flowing through my veins to my teammates, when normally I loved them. I like to heal them, the Florence Nightingale. But basically, I found that Medic was pointless. There's so many insta-kills. There's so many vehicles will just totally run you over. People are beyond saving. There's no salvation for them. So
you respawn really, really quickly as well. So if you die, you just fuck it.
I noticed that.
Incentive.
There's also regen in health in this Battlefield. So medkits and healing, not really needed a lot of the time.
No. You're right. And the healing process is a little bit different, whereas there's this really nice kind of... in the previous Battlefields, the last two specifically, but let's just talk about Battlefield 5. You can kind of just throw these medikits, and they've got this kind of magnetic quality where they just... Which is good, because it means that you're just doing that as kind of and you can still focus on holding your own with the gun. Whereas with this, it's a lot more surgical. You have to bring out a separate weapon, which is a syringe gun, and then you have to aim at the player. And you know what Battlefield players are like: flipping, dipping, rolling, jumping, parachuting, getting in a hovercraft. You can't shoot them, even your own teammates. And because there's no lines of communication, I can't just say, sorry, Doombringer 807, could you just stay still a second while I shoot you in the head? By the time I've got that off, the res is kicked in. So I thought, all right, well, I'll play Sniper then in it. No love there either, because the map's so big. You you're getting a shot or two in, but there's so many opportunities for them to hide behind cover. So all this being said, I'm just kind of running through the classes, but the one I stuck with, I guess, was like the engineering class, which is the one that has the anti-tank, anti-vehicle. Yeah. I just did that out of sheer repulsion for hovercrafts. But what I've done is I found that mixed with like the marksman rifles that they get and that's exactly like how I'm playing. Like that's the type of range I like, that mid-range. So it's single shot rifles, and I've been having a lot of fun defending points with anti-tank rockets, marksman rifles, and I'm playing like the hero who can put like a ballistic turret thing down. So I'm playing like that. I'm playing it like a tower defense, yeah. And I'm finding
you said it there. You said hero there. That is one of the core things. Like, I'm amazed that you managed to talk about it so much through the lens of like what class you played, because for me it's like fucking up. It's the hero is the thing, isn't it? And which I really can't settle into that. And I think a lot of the reason why it doesn't feel so sort of team based now is because that they've moved away from that. It's dead simple. Are you a medic, support, assault, sniper? What are you? It's like it's just you're just drowning in layers of like, are you an assault but with this kind of weapon, or are you you know what I mean? Liam, what do you think, mate?
I pretty much taken the exact same trajectory as Jake, where I started playing it as a medic and was like, not really into this. Swapped to the very same specialist using anti-tank, started to enjoy it a bit more because there's so many vehicles in this one that it feels very rewarding to play anti-tank, because you could just blow up everything and get loads of points for it. But it's like I am a bit mixed on it. There's some games I've played it where they've just about like recaptured that Battlefield magic for me, you know, especially in the breakthrough game mode, when put like just got a team of like 40 people pushing an objective, beating the enemy team back, and just like explosions going off everywhere, vehicles, helicopters falling out the sky and all that. Every so often it captures the magic for me. But overall, I am not really into it all that much. Like, I've played it probably, I had like 5 hours or so probably in total. But I played it over like a couple of days off I had. And just like, I never ever felt like it. Even Battlefield 5, it didn't even feel as close to Battlefield 5 in quality for me. I can't get on with the specialist system at all. I don't like how everyone can do everything all the time. And it's a bad fit. It is a really bad fit, because it gets rid of team play almost entirely, and that's Battlefield's bread and butter, really. The maps, I'm not a big fan of the maps either, and they just feel too big and barren. And I know they've made them bigger to accommodate for the 128 players you can have in a game. But the player count, I think, is fine. But the maps, it feels like there's just too many instances of like 5-10 minutes at a time where there's just absolutely nothing happening, and all you're doing is running between points. It's
horrible, because like there's a big conversation, isn't there, at the moment? Like in my day job, like I'm constantly getting talked to about data and what does the data say and stuff like that. And then like, you know, you've got like this whole wave of people saying about like the emotional response is super important. And like this, like uncanny valley is that feeling, isn't it? Where there's like a disconnect between like that feeling that you get, the response that like a robot's face gives you. That's what I feel about this game. Like everything on paper has been designed by like, well, this will take up like, every little point A has been captured notification has been overly designed, clinically designed to be like to mimic the sort of like top bar of a phone. Or I bet you that they've used eye tracking to see where a player would look to like, but there's something about it that just seems to have lost all soul. And it seems so weird to talk about a product in that way, but there just seems to be no response from me that's like, this is cool. I've racked up a couple of kill streaks that have been super satisfying. There was a part where there was a truck full of people, a truck full of players. I shot a tank at it, disabled it. They all got out. Then me and my best buddy, the turret, between the two of us, twatted 5 of them. 5 players, like, after knocking the vehicle out, stunning them. Felt like some sort of, like, highwayman, like, you know what I mean? Pulling off this amazing vehicle. I felt nothing inside. Like, I felt like, I feel like...
That's the ultimate criminal, you know. I was the ultimate, I killed 5 people.
And I feel like if us 3 sat down and we were just, like, in a free and easy mood and said, let's try that portal mode, that silly little portal mode, and let's see what weird stuff we can do. But to me, like, I just think it's going to be full of memes and, like, full of, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we're jumping through a lot of stuff there, like covering a lot of ground quickly, like, but it's, you know, because it's a big game. We've been looking forward to it for a long time, and, you know, the only reason that we would spend any time on it really is because we've all played it, and we all, I guess I pre-ordered it, like, and, you know, I knew that we would all play it eventually. So that is something that we haven't done yet, but like Jake said, but I think even it would probably, it would be an effort. It feels like at the moment that it would be an effort to stick with you and to find what you're doing and to coordinate, like, which, even if we're playing Breakthrough, which is the only mode that I've been playing, and which is the same. That's always been the same anyway. I've always preferred Rush and those kind of, like, you know, that just forced everybody into a couple of objectives. I've always preferred that. But I feel like it would be an effort to do it, and I think a lot of that, it would be an effort to play together and enjoy it, especially when we play it, like, you know, without headsets and stuff, don't we? We just play it dead, super casual on the sofa, texting each other, like, just messing about, like, not even, even like focused on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of that has to do with, like, the map, like you're saying there, Liam, because it sounds weird to say if one of the maps has a fucking rocket launch pad and a hurricane and, you know, like twister tornadoes that come plowing through and all this, but it feels featureless. Even with all that, it feels like featureless. And then when you do go into Portal, which I have done a little bit, just to play the Bad Company 2 Rush.
Oh, have you? You've done that, yeah.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. But that just really reminds you how good it used to be, because it's like the maps there, it's just sort of, you know, it's a port or whatever, but, like, every building is important in that. Like, you know, there's like a building on a corner past the road, and that's like a dead important building that people fight over and, like, try and knock it down and stuff, and people camping there, and this whole just one little building becomes a feature. But it just that hasn't happened. I can't see where that happens in the main game mode. Do you know what I mean? Because all the maps are just, like, huge shipping containers and huge open areas, just loads of trees, loads of little hills, and I don't know.
Yeah, it's something empty about it, and I'm not talking about the vacant maps. Just something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that dead behind the eyes, man. Absolutely. Meanwhile, Halo, pulling the same tricks out of the bag that it's been doing for 20 years, is winning the hearts and minds of everybody. And they're launching a bloody campaign next week. Good on them, mate.
It's not hard, is it? It's not
hard. No, it's not hard.
Again?
No, yeah. I'm begging for another World War II one at this point, for fuck's sake.
Call of Duty did that, and that's getting the same criticism, that it's just soulless, like nothing behind the eyes.
Well, but that's the thing, isn't it? Call of Duty has done nothing but the same thing.
Yeah,
true.
15
years or whatever.
That's it. Yeah,
it's you just this is just like the structural, like, change, and I just everybody feels like totally jacked up, and fucking everybody can do everything, like you said, Jake. You got all the tools.
Everyone's a fucking anime protagonist, man. I just want to be one of 500 medics, soulless, faceless. I'm out here to heal my men.
And then maybe coming from the World War II, World War I setting, which was, you know, a lot more lean in the UI and stuff even. And, you know, you had a little sticky grenade or a normal grenade. That's it. You know, those were your choices. And, if you wanted a scope on your rifle, it was covered in mud, just so it wasn't, like, too powerful.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, when you've gone from that to just being, you know, the worst kind of Call of Duty knee sliding, jetpacks, grappling hooks stuff in one move, it just feels a bit sort of, don't know.
I wish I had, like, a glass breaking, like, thing I could smash.
Yeah.
Like a Radio 1 Extra DJ. Be like, get it out of here. All right, cool. So, yeah, Battlefield 2042. Let's see where we are in 6 months' time.
Yeah.
For the next performance report. Yeah.
Who knows?
I mean, I do want to play with you guys, but maybe we'll feel differently after we played a bit of co-op.
Yeah.
Bit of squadding.
Squad up.
Right, Pokemon, Liam, do you want to talk about that?
I can do. Pokemon Shining Pearl. I have played that one. It's a remake of Pokemon Pearl, and there's also Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, if you're that way inclined, which is a remake of Diamond. Gen 4, largely considered one of the best gens in Pokemon by Pokemon fans. This one, as Pokemon tends to do now, got a lot of flack before it came out for looking like very basic, very cheap, not really taking advantage of being on a Switch, which is a much more powerful platform than the Nintendo DS. Just the usual sort of stuff that Pokemon fans get angry about, but they've been getting angry about it for like the last decade, so nothing's really changed. They're okay. It's okay. It's a very, very, very faithful remake of Diamond and Pearl, to the point where it just feels like they've taken the game and added in some of the quality of life stuff of the later games, like the XP share and the new Pokemon types like Fairy and stuff, which weren't present in the original ones. But other than that, it is very, very faithful. Plays out exactly the same. The dialogue is the same. The trainer battles are the same. The Elite Four's the same. Champions the same. Story's the same. It's just all in 3D now, in a little cutesy, chibi anime art style, which actually looks kind of nice when you see it in motion. It looks like the original Pokemon sprites, like on the GBA and 3DS, but just they've 3D-ified them. I think it actually looks quite nice when you get hands-on with it, to be fair. But yeah, like, if you've ever played Diamond and Pearl, it's basically the same game. If you've never played Diamond and Pearl, you might go into it thinking, why is this such celebrated generation? Because I have to admit, I had a lot of rose-tinted glasses towards this, and when I played this remake through, I was like, you know what, it's kind of disappointing until you actually beat the post-game, and you start unlocking all, like, the national decks and stuff. Like, the Pokédex is, like, very, very limited, I think. The Pokemon aren't that terribly exciting in Diamond and Pearl. Until you unlock the national decks and you start getting all your favourites. Some of the newer features I have been having fun with. So in Diamond and Pearl, you used to be able to like dig underground and make secret bases in the area called, believe it or not, the Underground. They've replaced it with the Grand Underground, which now you can catch Pokemon in it. You can dig a base out, make your own little secret base. You can put statues around that alter the properties of the areas, and it affects what type of Pokemon will show up. So you can, like, the very first time I went down there, I found a Bulbasaur, and I was well happy because he's not normally in Diamond and Pearl. And so it's been fun, like, and wherever you dig into the underground on the world map, like the normal world map, takes you to a different part of the underground. So I've been trying to like excavate all the tunnels and find new areas with different Pokemon in. That's been kind of fun.
That's cool.
Other than that, they've added like a new area where you can, if you combine certain sets of items, it'll make legendary Pokemon from different gens show up, so you can catch all them. But other than that, it's another Pokemon game. They haven't really done anything to change it, all that honestly. It's fine. It's going to sell millions like it always does. But there's nothing revolutionary about it. It is very, very, very obviously aimed at fans of Diamond and Pearl. Yeah, they'll probably love it. I can't imagine they'll be angry about it, because it is like...
No.
It's basically a carbon copy of the original, just with a new art style. It's honestly, it's not that terribly exciting, to be honest, which is...
There's like some... I know some like really, really high-level Pokemon like streamers, yeah, and they were like going, the changes are crazy! Like what? Let's finish, yeah. Like this... I better get this right, yeah. There's like a gym leader called Cynthia, and normally like...
champion, yeah.
Yeah, Cynthia's like... Now her Pokemon now have like the traits that make them like a tiny bit more competitive, like timid or whatever. I know they don't have neutral states anymore, Mike. They've all got like timid or aggressive or whatever. Yeah. So
the Elite Four in Diamond and Pearl is weirdly hard.
And you can rematch Cynthia later, and apparently her team is like what's like meta at like world level. Like if you're playing like, so apparently if you're like a really, really high level like Pokemon play. Like the rematch of Cynthia is like as hard as it can get.
It's insane. Like that's the thing. Like if you're into really, really high level Pokemon, there's a lot more that's like changed about it, especially in the post game side of it. It's because like with the new types and everything, adding in a whole new meta to the game. But
this is it.
If you're just like a sort of casual fan who's just like, I like Pokemon, I like catching them.
That is just exactly the same.
It feels exactly the same to you. So it's your enjoyment of these remakes will really, really depend like how into Pokemon you are. Like I wouldn't say I'm like hardcore Pokemon player, but I'm definitely like enjoy it a bit more than like the average person.
I think so. Yeah.
So, but I like it. But at the end of the day, it's nothing particularly remarkable. There's not a lot to say about them that would excite like a fan who hasn't, or someone who's not played Pokemon for a long time. I can't really think of anything to say that would get them excited enough to like rush out and pick it up. It's a good game. It's a good remake. I hope that the company, because this one was actually made by a third-party company instead of Game Freak, I hope this company get another shot at doing another Pokemon game, because they've got some good ideas. I want to see them have a bit more like creative freedom. It's like ICLA or ILCA, I think the company's called. And like, you can tell, like, because a lot of the changes were put in by them, and they seem to be like really listening to what people want from Pokemon. Like a lot of like fan requested stuff. So I hope they get another shot at Pokemon, and I hope they get a bit more creative freedom with it, because it seems like they might have some bright ideas for the future instead of just, Game Freak being Game Freak and having like the iron grip on the franchise that they always do. But yeah, it's fine. It's a fine game, but it's nothing exciting, to be honest.
I love the phrase "iron grip" being used in the context.
It very well might be a Pokemon move.
Yeah.
There is one called Iron Head, which is just headbutt. It's headbutt, but with iron typing or steel typing even.
Words out of my mouth, man. All right, okay, so. Should we get on the emails or? I'll tell you.
Can do. I don't mind.
I'll just talk about the Riftbreaker quickly first, right? So this is the game I'm really excited about.
Yeah, go on.
I've been playing it for about a week, so it's on Xbox Game Pass, but I've been playing it. It's on PC as well, so the Game Pass for PC. So I've been playing it on PC, but there's also a demo available, I think, on every platform that it's on. Where I've been playing it on the PlayStation 5, so it's got like the trigger support and everything on PS5. If you play the demo on there or the game on there, it's about £25. It's like a weird sort of, it's like a classic like indie game proposition where it's like something meets something else, and it's like an action RPG, but also it's like they are billions, where there's like hordes and hordes of these you've got to build a base like RTS style, get production lines going up and resource management and defenses, towers, walls, all that sort of shit. But you also have this kind of Diablo-esque like going out and shooting stuff and chopping stuff up and getting sent on essentially quests, like saying, you need to go over here on a map to find this sort of material. And it's all sort of wrapped up in this like really like 2007 as hell packaging, which I absolutely love. I fucking love it. Like it looks like Supreme Commander or something like that. It sounds like even the fonts and stuff like that. It just looks like a game from 2007. And for that reason, I'm absolutely in love with it. And it feels really good to play. It just feels like it doesn't have like a campaign. It's like, procedurally generated worlds. And then you just...
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and then you jump. But it's, it's fucking good from what I've seen. And you jump into the world, and then there's like a bit of dialogue, like story exposition. And there is a story setup, like quite a clear story setup. And the voice acting is not good, and the writing isn't good and stuff, but all that just like adds to it as far as I'm concerned. I'm just there's this, I've played it and just can't put a foot wrong like so far. But I can't remember where. I really can't think where I saw it, like what made me want to play it. But I think I saw it on Rock Paper Shotgun or something like that.
Yeah, and so the Game Pass thing definitely helps, doesn't it? Yeah, and the fact it's 5 gig. So
well, I played the demo. What I did was I first played the demo on PlayStation, and I was really close to buying it, and I just had a quick look to see if it was on Game Pass, and it was. So I've been playing it on PC, but it feels really, it's like a twin stick shooter, but it feels really good to play mouse and keyboard and on a control pad. But for the reason that it is 2 genres, one of them probably feels a bit better on a gamepad than the other feels a little bit better with mouse and keyboard, to me anyway. But this, you're either losing out on the RTS bit by playing it on the controller, or you're losing out a little bit on the twin stick thing if you're playing it on mouse and keyboard. So I'm really enjoying it. There's really no reason to, if you're even remotely interested, to give it a look, because there are demos. Mm-hmm. And it is on Game Pass, so they've done a good job of sort of making it accessible. But
yeah, I didn't realize it was on Game Pass. I haven't been on Game. Yeah, I haven't been on Game Pass in so long. I've only just seen. I'm in my day job. I'm working on this game. I didn't even. Did you know Total War Warhammer 3 is coming on Game Pass, Mike?
No.
There we go. It is front and center. There we go.
Nice.
They want game. Yeah, what the fuck? I didn't know that. All right, so yeah, because they've added another game that I quite fancied the look of on the internet this week. Maybe there's a high chance that we'll talk about it next week, because I'm definitely downloading it. And I was wondering what you guys think of it, or if you played the original Evil Genius 2. You guys?
I've
never played Evil Genius.
No, it's on. That's another Game Pass right there. So.
All right then. I've just added the Riftbreaker to my Xbox queue through the Game Pass app on my phone. It's downloading now.
I fucking love that.
I think you like it. Liam, because it does.
It looks really good.
Yeah, it seems like it's a mix of things that you like. Mm-hmm. But the progression is tied into that, doing research and getting the supplies you need. So there's a lot of. It's a bit sort of No Man's Sky-ish in that it gives you. It drives you forward by giving you a massive tree of things to unlock and research, technologies to research, and then they equate to making your base more efficient and stronger, but then also actually leveling up your mech. And the main character is a sort of inside a mech suit, so then there's loads of different ways that you can upgrade the mech suit, the movement, and you can do you've got a little dash function. And it's a bit like that roguelike sort of thing of you can dash, but then you can get a fire thing for your dash or an ice thing for your dash. Or,
I love that.
Little mods that just change it up a little bit. So it is a real mix of different stuff, and it fucking totally works as far as
it looks good.
Last time I was excited about a game on this.
Well, no, this is what I mean, and I'm going to be honest, Jed. The majority of the games that you bring up, I'm at least aware of, but I have no idea what you're on about with this. And then I looked, and I had never seen it before. So this is
I have no idea what I'm on about with this, and I don't know how I.
No. Fuck yeah,
it's good. Yeah, and it really reminds me of Supreme Commander, and Total. That's what Jake was making fun of me of when I told him about this before we started recording it. It's you expected it to be like Total Annihilation, but it is, because the whole premise of that is that you're a robot. You're dropped on a planet with nothing, and you have to synthesize everything yourself. That's exactly the setup that this has got. It's got all the fucking Supreme Commander fucking fonts and everything. Genius.
All right. Point taken. All right. Yeah.
So I've also been playing Jurassic World Evolution 2, which is really good.
Is it the same? Is it the same as the first one? Just with more dinosaurs.
More Jeff Goldblum.
But yeah, but what's hilarious is, though, they've got Bryce Dallas Howard, but they haven't got Chris Pratt. So what's more annoying than Chris Pratt is somebody doing an impression of Chris Pratt.
Oh my god! He's been busy with voicing Mario, hasn't he?
Yeah. Did they get the voice actor of Mario to voice Chris Pratt?
That'd
be meta.
He's probably very expensive to do voice acting now, isn't he? To be fair, but it's
forgot his roots.
It's yeah, absolutely. But it's the most, these people, what are they called? Frontier? Is it Frontier? Yeah,
Frontier. It is Frontier. Yeah, it is Frontier.
I think it is. Planet Coaster people.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, so they make the most polished games like this. It's unbelievable. This game just looks amazing. The lighting and everything, and the production value on it. What is a strategy campaign It's like if you play like Tropico or something like that, it's like, oh, you need to, get your fucking manufacturing off the ground, and there's just all the objectives are like always the same in all these different games.
Yeah.
But in this, they've been pretty creative with the story, and they give you it doesn't feel like it's about developing parks for tourists. At least what I've played so far. I'm sure that comes like much later on. At the moment, it's like developing. It's like you're building research bases, and you have to go out and like capture the dinosaurs that are roaming the wild. And it gives you a park, which is not really a park. It's like a rundown Tiger King sort of poacher den full of dinosaurs that you have to like demolish and medicate the dinosaurs. And they've been dead creative with a strategy, park management campaign.
Yeah.
And it's got unbelievable production value, which I don't think you could, for a sequel for a game, I don't think you can ask for much more really. And there is a lot more variety in the actual dinosaurs and stuff. But it's really good. Really, I just love these games. I've got such a weak spot for these like park management games.
Yeah, they feel like they're like, and these guys are the top of the game with it as well.
Oh, they are.
Like, there's nothing really quite like it. And so
there's a lot of like little clones. Well, not clones. That's unfair. But there's a lot of like games on Steam that are doing like an indie sort of.
Yeah.
And there's one called like Parkosaurus, which is really fucking.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, you were saying about that. Yeah, you were saying.
Really good.
Yeah.
And they're just like dead colourful, but the art style is totally stripped back and it's more isometric based on a grid.
So this is it when you play a game with this much polish, you just remember, don't you? You're like, okay, this is what a team of 80 do compared to like.
There's literally objectives in it. You can like control the little Ranger trucks and the and stuff. They try to make it feel like a sort of vehicle action game a little bit. By saying, you got to drive away from the dinosaur and you're like driving through the trees and there's a big dinosaur running after you and stuff. They try and do a bit of that. But yeah, I'm into it. I like it.
Sounds good.
Very much. All right. Emails.
Let's go. I got Riftbreaker. I had to renew my Game Pass there during that section, and so.
I'm on a trial. I've actually. Do
you know what? Yeah.
I've used.
Well, what is the thing? I'm confused because it said to me, because it's my first month of Game Pass Ultimate, I can have it for £1, and I'm like, I've been using it for 2 years, and I'm making sure I'm on the right account, and it's Kimmel Bay. You know what I mean? So anyway, whatever. Emails.
I don't know if I'm confessing to a crime here, but I just continually have to just like trialing.
Yeah. It's like it's like asking your mate what his burner phone is, asking for my fucking username this month.
What's my current? It's just this Welsh word that was last used in the 17th century.
Yeah. It's some fucking deep web shit, this is. All right.
Right, anyway, moving on. Right. If you want to send us an email, the address is dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. That's dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. We'll do this one from old friend of the channel, Fish Pockets, based in New Zealand, who says this: Dear Special Moves, after hearing Jake's feedback on Elden Ring, I looked into some gameplay, and I must say it does look very good, and the aesthetic and design is very appealing. Typically, however, I cannot stand these Souls-like games. I get no enjoyment out of crushingly brutal fights designed to punish the hell out of a player that make a single mistake. These days, I either get bored or simply get too frustrated. Having said that, I do feel I'm missing out on some really great content by outright denying myself these types of games. And I think Elden Ring might be the one to at least entice me enough to give it a serious go. This got me thinking that surely I'm not the only person in a position where there are games or genres you simply don't play for some reason. Another example for me would be combo games. For example, Devil May Cry, Platinum games and so on. I'm terrible at chaining combos together, but the games themselves do interest me. Are there any games or genres that you guys don't play or avoid for whatever reason, but maybe you feel you're doing yourself a disservice by missing out on? Loving the podcast as always. Big thank you once again for taking the time to do them. All the best from New Zealand. Mark. P.S. Mike asked the All Blacks for a rematch. I'm pretty sure you'll smoke us this time around. That's a little bit of rugby banter there.
Hey.
From Mark, from a New Zealander to a Welsh podcaster, of course. Got to happen.
All right, well, respect, Mark. Hey, can I just say, if you're tempted to go back and try the Souls games, I don't want to sound like that guy, but there is an easy mode for these games. It's just called using magic. Yeah, honestly, that is the most fucking Dark Souls banter. But if you make a magic build or go on Google and find a magic build, it's easy mode. I'm promising you. And with Elden Ring, can I just say quickly? I have to go off piece just quickly to say, I watched Varty Vidya, Australian warlord and also very good Dark Souls guy who like basically if actually fish pockets, if you don't want to play Dark Souls, just watch his videos. He basically gets all the item descriptions, correlates it all and tells it to you in like an audiobook. Anyway, I watched his gameplay of Elden Ring, and not only did he see at least 4 major bosses that I didn't even see, he discovered 2 major mechanics of Elden Ring I didn't even know was in the game. Like 2 actually huge things. Like there's like Breath of the Wild crafting in it. Didn't know that. And there's like a thing where you can like mix 2 ingredients together to make a custom Estus flask that has a potion. You basically can potion craft. So you can have rechargeable potion crafts at every bonfire that'll like, let's say like you're always running out of like stamina when you're low on health. You can have one that does, oh mate. Anyway, so the genre that I don't like is bullet hell, but they've got loads of similarities to roguelike. And there's like, normally they're either like sci-fi, but cool sci-fi, and like dungeony stuff that I normally am really into. But as soon as something's bullet hell, I'm just out of there. Like, what's that called? Enter the Gungeon or something like that.
I love Gungeon.
Like every other game of its ilk, like in terms of like the vibe and the art and stuff, I'm all over, but I just can't be arsed with bullet hell games.
Yeah,
then it hurts my eyes, like, so that's me.
I felt a bit like that with I'm sort of the same with that, but I don't know what it is. I just think it's like the I don't know, the aesthetic of it, almost like just the Returnal, where I was so excited about every single thing about that game, but then when I saw that you had to jump over glowing blue balls, I was like, oh.
Actually is the perfect example. You know, I've been listening to the Returnal soundtrack loads lately, and I was talking to my mate about the best PS5 games, and he's saying about, oh, you played that Returnal? And I'm like, it's supposed to be like a fucking cosmic horror, sci-fi, introspective roguelike, but unfortunately there's a lot of glowing blue balls. That is exactly what I mean, exact case in point. Fucking brilliant, yeah.
Liam?
I don't really play it, but like grand strategy games, I don't really play them. Yeah. And I hear you guys like talking about like your campaigns and Total War and stuff, and I do feel like maybe I should give that a try. I don't know why. It's a genre that I've tried to get into many, many times, but it's just never really clicked with me. I don't know if it's just because I'm not giving it the time of day enough, or I'm just like, it doesn't hold my attention. I have got quite a short attention span, to be honest.
Yeah. Have you played Mountain Blade before?
I've never played Mountain Blade.
No. That's got a bit of like the same feelings that you like when you're playing a grand strategy game, but you don't have to do as much of the battalions of
the management side of it.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know why. I imagine that you would. Like, you've got a nice new chair now, by the way. Maybe that'll change you.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe it's the benefit I need. I don't know.
So yeah, maybe.
Because I'm the opposite. Because I love like bullet hell type games. Like you were saying, like,
you are a bullet hell apologist. Yeah,
I am. Yeah. Love like Returnal. That was the best part about Returnal for me. Was the not gonna lie, it was.
No, like, that's good. This is it. Yeah.
Something about like pattern recognition and jumping over like precise dodging out the way of like weird floaty obstacles. Like there's a hack and slash game called Fury that came out on like the PS4.
Yeah.
It's fucking well good. That's like a bullet hell hack and slash game with an amazing soundtrack. Near Automata. That's got bullet hell segments to it, and even the actual like the namesake of the genre games like Ikaruga and stuff like that. I like those ones as well. You know, like the vertical scrolling arcade shooters. I love them as well.
It's my favorite game ever is Binding of Isaac, and that's just basically, in a way, you're just getting splattered by bullets, and they're like especially like the latest like 3 or 4 expansions. Like the final boss of the game is just actual like R-type sort of like it's just mad. But yeah, it's not for me.
Mine is like specific to just a couple of games really, and it's like Pillars of Eternity, and then sort of like torment or whatever the
but you basically hate Obsidian. That's what it is it?
I love Obsidian, but I just
like
play Divinity
isometric RPGs sort of.
Yeah, and I loved Baldur's Gate. My sort of experience with it, limited experience with it as a kid, I absolutely fucking loved it, and I love BioWare games, and I love Divinity. I really really love Divinity, and I love like other CRPG like Wasteland and Wasteland 3 I've been playing recently. I really like it, but I don't know. I really don't know what it is about like Pillars, specifically Pillars, and the other one. I can't remember what it's called. Was it?
No, it's Torment, Tides of Numenera. That you're on about? It's it's the same people as well.
There's Tyranny as well. That's another Obsidian one.
Yeah, Tyranny. I looked at as well. So I'm like, they really on paper. I look like I would love them. I'm
with you on that as well, mate. Like the thing about it is like, I don't know how bad this sounds, but it feels like a tribute act, a really try-hard one. Whereas, like,
maybe, yeah.
Yeah, whereas like Divinity, it's not like prestige, but like they're clearly nodding and winking to the genre, but they're doing it. They've definitely got their own style. But Pillars is literally like, well, this is what's proper, and it just that seems to, and like.
Yeah,
it's not really. Yeah, I know what you mean. I
don't know. Yeah, it's really hard to put your finger on it, but yeah, that's my answer there. A little side note on the email as well. I would say to Mark, where he says, "I get no enjoyment out of crushingly brutal fights designed to punish the hell out of a player that make a single mistake." It's more forgiving than you think it is. Really, like if you play, Demon Souls and stuff. I've been playing a bit of that on PlayStation recently. You can just if you're covered in armor as well, and you put a foot wrong, you lose half your health, but it's no fucking big deal. It's not as, I think they get like, they have an aura, don't they? The games, and because they are, because you can die out of the blue, and you can make mistakes, and you can die. It isn't like, it does have like a threatening aura that
Yeah, so when you get down to it as well, like, once you get past the section you were really stuck at, you realise it's not actually that far between, like, the bonfire and the boss room when you think about it. The journey feels a lot longer than it actually is.
You feel like an idiot. Do you remember the first time? Yeah, the first time I played Bloodborne, it took me hours to get through Yharnam.
That's what the funniest thing about those games is. You go. This is why people have got this camaraderie around it. You go back and you got this feeling that you're a vet. Like I was playing Demon Souls before I played Elden Ring. When I was in the Elden Ring waiting room, I was playing Demon Souls on my boss's PlayStation. You just trounce through it, like, because it's funny how what was a cold world is like a fucking warm home.
Yeah. And I don't think there's any other game that has the away from game mental. Has you thinking about it when you're at your desk, you're fucking writing an email, and you're like, I feel the call. You just have that fucking urge to just go back to it and think about it.
Elden Ring is going to ruin people's lives, man. Yeah. This is out here.
I need to do Demon Souls. This year I need to do it. I need to finish it before.
It's worth it. It's well worth it. If you do want a brutally hard game that is just needlessly punishing, play Shin Megami Tensei 5 on the Switch. You'll do you'll have like 3 hours between save points where there's no save points, there's no healing. You'll go into a battle, you'll get insta-killed by an enemy, and the game will literally spit at you and be like, fuck you.
I'll fucking spit at it. You know what I mean?
That game is like cruel. That game is needlessly cruel at times.
Can I just, in one sentence, this is the Metacritic way of describing it. It's so fucking funny. Shin Megami Tensei 5 is a severe JRPG. Yep. Severe.
They're not wrong.
Yeah. So anyway, yes.
I want to get that in the Twitter bio somewhere. I want to get the word severe.
That's a good one to have.
Is a severe. Right. Let's do. Okay, this is a nice short one, which I like. Daniel from Portland, Oregon says, "Dear Special Moves, have you guys tried Exo 1? It's on Game Pass. The world is really beautiful, and the flying and rolling mechanics are so fun. Sorry, it's more of a comment than a question, but I hope you're all doing well and give the game a try." Daniel.
Yes, so it's a bit like that. I have, because I know the people who made it, and it's a bit like you're playing a space frisbee. It's a bit like that Jet Far Shore, where it's it's that sort of thing.
I played Jet the Far Shore, and I really like it. I really like Jet the Far Shore, But it sort of plays. I'm like I'm the audience for it.
This is weird because the thing about XO1 is, right, so I have not mentioned it. No, I haven't. I mentioned it before this. I've been absolutely strapped the fuck into VR. I've been smashing it, right? And the one thing that, like, VR is doing really well. Like, there's a lot of cool shit about it. I'm really into it. But one thing that the VR headsets have in abundance is games where you're static and the world is coming at you, like you're on a Guitar Hero track. And XO1's one of them, where you're a little alien frisbee spaceship thing, and you're just moving left to right whilst the world's happening around you. And there's really amazing, breathtaking things happening. There's meteorites crashing to the ground, and there's, like, you're seeing really cool exposition through what's happening in your peripheral vision when you're avoiding the obstacles and stuff like that. Almost kind of like how Tetris Effect. The funny thing is, everything happening around you when you're playing Tetris is the amazing part. So, like,
I was going to say, it sounds like Res a lot.
Yeah, this is a lot more like, I guess it is like meditative, exploratory. It's not like these VR games. There's constant things for you to be doing. Because when you're dodging with your head, aren't you? So there's loads for you to be doing, and loads of them are like shooting rides in a haunted house, theme park or whatever. But this one it's not in VR, but it just reminds me of like these games I've seen loads of now, low poly artwork and like loads of cool things happening whilst you're actually just going side to side. So it's like done really well. Like, it's really highly reviewed as well. So it's so funny that this email's coming in. I've just been like, yeah, it's a game where you go side to side in a frisbee. But I'm not selling it, but it's one of them where if you can see past that, like if you're here to see what's going on around you and stuff, then it's supposed to be pretty damn good. Like, I've got a key. I've just never played it. Yeah.
It's
cool.
I'm gonna give it a go sometime, I think.
Yeah, sounds fun.
Yeah, it does like I had my eye on it anyway, but yeah, it's good to be able to bring it up. Thanks, Daniel from Oregon.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel.
Let's do the new games. There isn't many new games, right? So I'm going to say the ones that I know of, and then if you guys know of any others,
I think I know a couple.
Chuck them in, right? So the new games for the week of, it started November 29th. We're in December already.
God, it's Advent calendar season now, baby.
Right, 2nd of December, so this is Thursday. Solar Ash is out on PC, PS4, and PS5. This is
that's
game.
the Hyperlight Drifter people, isn't it?
Yeah, actual.
Is it?
Yeah. It's
it was meant to come out a couple of weeks ago, I think.
The Metacritic scores dropped whilst we were recording this podcast. It's a 7 out of 10 everywhere. It's like firm 70s.
I absolutely love Hyperlight Drifter.
I think it's the same people.
No, it is, Liam. It's Heart Machine. It is. It's the only two things that they've done, isn't it? So yeah,
thought it was.
Yeah. So it's their new thing, and it looks like it won't disappoint if you're into that thing, like art style and everything. It's got the vibe. So cool.
A lot of pink and a lot of blue. So that's happening. Then on the 3rd, the Friday, a couple of things. Actually, I'm quite tempted to get this. Big Brain Academy, Brain versus Brain is on
the Wii lives again.
Brain versus Brain.
I'm desperate for a Professor Layton, like just a bit.
Mate, get that. Yeah. Oh yeah, tell you what. Yeah. First of all, whoever came up with the name Brain versus Brain is a genius, because that is really funny. But you know what?
It's a Nintendo first-party game, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know that. Cool.
And it's 25 quid, so it's not full.
It's unironically got on its box art, Comic Sans. Flex your brain the fun way with family and friends.
It is a sort of return of Dr. Kawashima's brain training a little bit, but
hell yeah!
So that's happening. Then Chorus, which is a space combat game, is out on PC, PS4.
This is
PS5,
the one.
Xbox One, Series X, and Stadia.
It spells the chorus, but the U with a V.
Yeah, of course it does.
It's going to get sued by churches, but
yeah, very good. Yeah, so I had never heard of this one. So
I think it was at an Xbox E3, if I remember right, or was it PlayStation? It might have been. It was either a PlayStation experience or an Xbox one. I can't remember.
Oh,
and then Danganronpa Decadence is out on Nintendo Switch, which is a visual novel. I think there's a few of these games.
That's out on. Yeah. They brought that out on Friday, the 3rd.
It's coming out this Friday. Yeah,
quite a few Danganronpa games. Yeah, I've not heard of this one though. I've played the first 2, but I've not heard of this one.
Oh, is that all you got?
Oh. One more. Disney Magical World 2 Enchanted Edition is also out on Nintendo Switch, which is described as a life simulation, which I've not heard that before. This is the Matrix. It's the dawn of the Matrix.
Is this in VR, Mike? Is this for Oculus? Yeah. So this actually came out in 2015 on the DS. So it must be some sort of port for people who haven't left the life sim. They need an upgrade.
So that is all I've got. That's everything.
I got 2 that come out this week, actually. One's out in early access, but it seems interesting. It's like an action RPG from the people who made that game Northgard. And it's called War Tales. And I've got to say, the art style for this looks ace. And it's an open world RPG that's focused on like mercenaries. And it's kind of one of them where, kind of that classic RPG. Your party enters a cave. What do you want to do? Do you want to, got that like Darkest Dungeon-y vibe and stuff like that. Cool. And then I think it's the biggest release of the month. Maybe, depending on how big that Halo campaign is, but certainly one of the biggest and most anticipated. Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker, which is out on Friday.
Is that like the big early access version? If you've like paid the big collector's edition bucks, I think. I think it comes out the 7th for everybody else, but you can pay early access for it.
Right? Yeah. The only people in my circles are fucking bratty little entitled streamers, aren't they? So I have no real sense of the real world, is it? But I know that everyone I know is playing it on the Friday.
Yeah, if I remember right, it's one of the super duper special editions you can pay and get a couple days early access.
My company, there's 10 people in my company. 5 of them are off to play Endwalker on Friday. That's like, it's all, it's big there. So, the biggest MMO in the world just gets bigger. Yeah. Fucking huge.
All encompassing.
I mean,
I've been smashing it, to be fair. Like I've got like a time of recording. It goes down for maintenance in 5 hours for 24 hours. So I'm camping out in this room tonight whilst my family rot away with COVID for Japan, for Liam. You know what I mean? So.
Hey, that's what I did when my family got COVID. I sat in here playing Bloodborne. I couldn't have picked a better game to play, to be honest.
That's fucking...
I couldn't have picked a more fitting theme.
Yeah. Liam's going to look back on that when he's 60 and be like, I remember when the plague was at my door and I didn't answer.
When I'm in my German wheelchair, I can like sit laughing to myself.
I can't wait to play that again.
No, it's good. It holds up so well. PS5 patch is definitely needed for that game.
Let's go.
Well, it's sort of quite, what do you call it? Conspicuously up.
Yeah.
It sort of seems like, okay.
Come on, Jeff at the Game Awards. You better bring the goods.
Oh, let's go. Cool.
Right, well, that was the Occasional Moves podcast. That was episode 144. We'll probably do a bonus podcast now. If you're a Patreon supporter, we do a bonus podcast every time we record a regular podcast, which is off topic. Sometimes it's about games, sometimes it's about movies, TV, sport, weirdly. But, everything in it. So, if you're a Patreon supporter, remember to check the Patreon feed to get that every time we do a regular podcast. Thanks for supporting us, and keep your emails coming into DS Moves. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.